boy, here we go. All right, what's happening, everybody? It is the afternoon of NFL free agency frenzy Monday, legal tampering day. You know, why don't they just open up free agency on Monday? You know, it's kind of funny, right? They call it legal tampering day, yet all these deals are happening. There's no tampering. There's no tampering whatsoever. This is straight up. They're taking what they want. They're going to get it. All these teams, every single one of them, they ain't tampering. Come on now. I think we're a little smarter than that. They might as well just get rid of the next 3 days. Just open it up on Monday and be done with it. You know, let them tamper the week before. Let them make phone calls today or whatever it is. But I don't think it really matters to think that, you know, these players are not talking to other teams or agents aren't having, you know, the back room at St. Elmo's kind of conversations during the combine week. You'd be silly. You know, during the combine week, you know, Eric and I went to a few places to eat, and you know, I couldn't help but notice every time, you know, I look around and I'm like, yeah, that's an NFL dude, that's an NFL dude, that's an NFL dude. And you just wonder what kind of conversations they're having. And it wasn't until we went to the Yard House for the second time that we had some guys sitting behind us. And I could overhear, obviously, everything that they're talking about. Some wild conversations about their family, kids, yada, yada, yada. And then football, right? And so everywhere you are, you're going to hear stuff. So it's not to say that, you know, a lot of these deals aren't getting done in Indy, because they are. A lot of trades, you know, trade talk. You're trying to figure out the value of what, you know, your player has on the market, what the interest is, kind of dipping your toes in the water, if you will. And then Monday happens, and it's a little slow to get going, and then it's a free-for-all. You know, it was just an absolute free-for-all. It got hot there for a minute, and then now, you know, it's going to start slowing down. It'll slow down. Could be a day, could be a couple hours. Hell, it could be 10 minutes, and they could be right back at it again. But man, a flurry of some trades. We're gonna or some free agency signings. A lot of players moving around. Some names probably a lot of us did not expect. I'll say that Mike Evans one shocked me. But I love the story that I read about the Mike Evans deal more than anything. I'll have to paraphrase it because I didn't save it. Quite honestly, I wasn't in the seat when I read it anyway. Let me just double check something, because I want to bring some stuff up on the screen. Just want to make sure it's the right one. Looks like it's the right one. Well, let's just hope it's the right one. I got good news if you haven't heard already. Comp picks were announced. Now, I already knew the comp picks. Told you guys earlier what it was going to be if you were in. We had a really good stream going, and then I killed it. I thought I saved it, but I killed it. I didn't mean to kill it. I don't usually save a stream, keep it running, and then walk away. So I accidentally just hit end. I'm a dumbass. I know. I was trying to leave it open for everybody just to chat, hang out, come back, do whatever you want. Didn't work out that way. So I apologize. I'll fix it next time. In a year, I'll fix it. Or the next time I decide to do that. But today's marathon day, man. We're going to be streaming, doing videos, talking Lions, talking football all day, every day. But let's talk comp picks for just a moment. Email from the NFL hit my desk here, 4:20 on the dot. I wonder what that NFL player or NFL player. Wonder what that NFL employee does at 4:20. Heading out the door. Oh, I got to send everybody an email. Here's the email. 33 compensatory draft choices to 15 football clubs. This is right from my inbox, so I'll be careful here. Here's what we're looking at. There was third round compensatory picks handed out this year. 1 to Minnesota. Damn it. 1 to Philly. 1 to Pittsburgh. And 1 to Jacksonville from Detroit. That was the trade. Must be the trade. I guess, right? And then we have 4th round compensatory picks. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got 8 that went out. You got San Francisco, Vegas, Pittsburgh, New Orleans, Philadelphia. 2 more for San Francisco. And then the New York Jets. I hate San Francisco. I really hate San Francisco. I don't use the word hate very often. I can't stand San Francisco. They do it year in and year out. Every freaking year, it seems like they could enter a draft with 3 picks. And then by today, they'll have like 9 or 10. And they'll have like 3 or 4 4th rounders, 3 or 4 5th rounders. It's crazy. They do it every year. Every freaking year. Let's see. 5th round picks. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they went out to Baltimore twice, Vegas again, Kansas City, Dallas, Philly, the Jets, Dallas, and Detroit. So our 6th, like I said this morning, was going to be a 5th, as long as certain things held true, which they must have. I don't know what those things are because the compensatory formula it's a nightmare that I don't even want to start learning, but eventually I will. So we got an extra 5th, which means Brad is definitely moving up. You got 3 6th round picks, 2 5ths, a 4th, a 7th, a 2nd, and a 1st. Right? Is that what we have? 1st, a 2nd, a 4th, 2 5ths, 3 6ths, and a 7th. 9 draft picks, right? He's absolutely going to move up. How many times? I don't know, but he's going to move up. I would love to see him move back off of 17 if the right player's not there, and then gain an extra 2nd round pick. 6th round picks: Pittsburgh, Philly, and Pittsburgh. Man, these teams are just rocking it out. This is what I don't understand about the Lions. Like, why are they not playing the comp game a little bit better? And you do that by the players that you bring in and the players that you let walk in free agency. Like, you just plan on, I'm not going to sign them back. And maybe that happens with Alex Anzalone and Amik Robertson. Like, that could absolutely happen, that we could be looking at some comp value there. With Pittsburgh, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got 4 comp picks out of the 33. Only 15 teams got comp picks. 7th round comp. You got Indianapolis, Baltimore, Los Angeles Rams twice, Baltimore again, Indianapolis again, Green Bay, Denver twice. Like, what in the world, man? Like, these teams, whatever they're doing in free agency, they're doing it right. So there you go. There's your free agency overhaul. And then it goes in and it tells you the compensatory free agents lost and gained in 2025 by the clubs that will receive compensatory picks in 2026, draft. So let's just take a look at a couple of these. Baltimore, starting with, they lost Malik Harrison. They lost Josh Jones, Patrick McCarry, Brandon Stevens, and then Tre'Davious White. And then they only gained DeAndre Hopkins. So they gained quite a bit. That's how they got so many comp picks. Dallas, they lost Cooks, Dowdle, Chuma, Chauncey Goldston, DeMarcus Lawrence, Jordan Lewis. They only brought in Dante Fowler, Robert Jones, Solomon Thomas, Javonte Williams, and they ended up with a handful of comp picks. For Detroit, we lost Carlton Davis, Ifeatu Melifonwu, Kevin Zeitler. We brought back in Roy Lopez and DJ Reed, and therefore we got screwed with a fifth. I don't know how an all-pro Kevin Zeitler and a really damn good cornerback in Carlton Davis and broken fingernail Ifeatu Melifonwu only equal a fifth-round pick. And that has something to do with, you know, I guess how many snaps they played. Like, I don't even know. Like, the comp disaster, it's a disaster. I'll never understand it. So, there you go. Those are your comp picks. Figured we start off with, you know, a little something different to kind of get us going. All right, so I'm just going to ask. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. How you guys feeling about free agency so far? Oh, I love seeing stuff like that in the chat. And I'm not going to repeat it. Y'all know what I'm laughing at. I am super happy that Brad went out and got us a center. You know, there was a comment on one of my videos or the live or something like that, you know, like Brad did absolutely nothing, went out and got like the worst center available. Well, the dude hasn't given up any sacks in 2 seasons. Has anyone thought about that? Yeah, his grades are a little bit low, and I didn't do a huge deep dive when I did the video on him. I just wanted to get the news out. But he's not giving up a sack in 2 seasons. I mean, that speaks for something. Yeah, he's had a few penalties. He's let up, you know, a few hurries here or there, but the dude's been pretty good. His grades have not been great, and you know, I'm gonna steal something, even though I've said it many times, from Rob E. So when Rob E was on, he kept saying, you know, you've got to look at the players around you too. Like, you know, some of these things happen because of the players around them. Well, he was playing in Carolina. Like, you know, the Panthers were okay last year. I think their defense was better than their offense, but their offensive line wasn't great. You know, I mean, it wasn't a world beater. So Cade Mays didn't have a ton around him, and I think that lends to his credibility. Now, are the Lions done? Probably not. Could they go out and grab a center in the draft? They could. They absolutely could. And that just means you're bringing in another center that could be a guard, right? And you have depth. At least you have a depth of having multiple centers on the roster and multiple centers that could be guards, which you need. I mean, we've seen it time in and time out every single season that the Lions, for whatever reason, have a ton of injuries on the offensive line. This light is killing me again. Hold on one sec. There we go. I had to get rid of that light. It's way too bright. I don't know why this light is so much different than my other one. So I'm good with it. I'm good with the signing. I think it was smart. I think that Brad put himself in a very good position now. And I'm going to repeat something I've said for probably 3 years. What Brad does in free agency is very simple. He fills as many holes as he can with being somewhat frugal with the dollars and at the same time calculated with the players. I think the majority of his free agents have worked out. The majority of them. I mean, you tell me one that really hasn't. The majority of them have worked out. DJ Reader's worked out. Amik Robertson's worked out. Alex Anzalone's worked out. Why am I drawing a blank right now? We'll come back to that. I'm drawing a huge blank, but you get the point that I'm making. His free agents have worked out. Carlton Davis, that's the one I was trying to think of. Carlton Davis. They've all worked out, right? DJ Reed didn't have his greatest year last year, and he was injured. So what? You know, season's over. You got to learn to compartmentalize it. Throw it away, man. It's 2026. Let's move on. Let's move forward. Brad doesn't do a bad job in free agency. If the free agents didn't ever work out, then I would have a problem. And I think that we'll be okay here with Cade Mays. And so the thing that he does that's pretty simple is he's going to end up going into the draft with a clear mind, and he's going to end up being able to pick who he wants to pick and not who he has to pick. And I think that is the leverage play that all general managers would love to operate from. If you could, you know, go about your daily life not having to worry about anything, and you can pick and choose whatever you want to do, that'd be a pretty good life. Well, imagine a GM that's building a team and has to construct this team in a high pressure situation where you've got like 7-8 minutes, whatever it is, to make the pick, and the NFL speeding that clock up. You got to hurry, you got to hustle, and you have to know that you are convicted on that player that you're about to bring into that locker room that is young and a rookie. And so all your homework has to pay off in a very quick shot. So I'm good with it. I think it was a good choice. I think it was a really good choice. There was nobody else available. Now, the other thing that I'll say is congratulations to Tyler Linderbaum. Holy cow. That dude just reset the market way higher than I ever thought he was going to get. I think at the very outset of discussing Tyler Linderbaum, I was in the max of like that 25 neighborhood. I'd have to go back and listen, but even today I was thinking 22 was like that bar of entry. If the Lions even had a chance, it's going to have to be at least 22, 23. No way, man. $27 million per season. The Ravens offered him something, but I guess, and I don't know what the total term was, with the Ravens. They offered him something, but they would not go to a 3-year deal. So did they give him like a 2-year 50, 2-year 48, and he wanted 3? Could be. Lastly on that, I got to take a quick pause. Hold on.
Throwing middle, caught inside the 5. Jameer Gibbs to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. 14 yards on the strike. Goff to Gibbs. You can't cover that man one-on-one.
All right, sorry about that. Cold's creeping up on me. Matter of fact, I better take some medicine. I heard today that the Lions were actually players with Linderbaum. I don't know how recent. Like, I don't know if it was this morning. Or yesterday or whenever, but that Linderbaum, the whole Linderbaum thing kind of went haywire when the Raiders jumped in, and they went all in with a 3 year. So I don't know if the Lions offer. I don't know anything about it. All I heard is that the Lions were players. It's a player that they looked at, and that's interesting to me. That if they were even close, they were never going to get to 27 million. There's no way that they're going to spend that kind of money. If you're going to spend that kind of money, that's JMO money. That's damn near St. Brown money. That's only $3 million away from St. Brown for a center. And that's more money than, I believe, Penei Sewell. I think Penei Sewell's making 24, 25, somewhere in that range. So there you go. You're not overpaying. The Lions couldn't pay. Yeah, they could for a year. But man, once you get all the rest of these contracts done, there ain't no way. There just ain't no way. And then, hey, congratulations to Trey Hendrickson. I'm very happy to announce that he went anywhere but Detroit, which I'm thankful for. That just validated all of the work that we've been doing for multiple years now. And I got to say it one last time. I told you so. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. It's unfortunate that, some people didn't get their way with the defensive edge position. But now I don't have to worry about Garrett. I don't have to worry about Crosby. I don't have to worry about Hendrickson. I don't have to worry about Phillips. Who's next that I need to worry about that, you're going to run out of content to do because that's all you do. Super, super happy that we don't have to worry about it anymore. K-Biz says, we live again. Yes, we are. He says he just got back from taking the kid to the park. Well, I hope y'all had fun at the park. Preach it, Peter. Preach it, Peter. What did Peter say? Says, trust in Brad. I have learned not to overreact when Brad does something. Yeah, that would really help to crash out if when you do have questions or statements or something you want me to try to get my eyes on, put in caps. Trace says Gardner Minshew signs with the Cards. Oh Lord. Well, there goes one of our quarterbacks that I was hoping to have bring in, to help old Jared Goff out. Let's do a quick review of what we know so far on today's Free Agency Frenzy Monday. What a fun day. What a fun day. You get to know who your team is, whether you like it, love it, believe in it, or not. You know what? They don't care. I care, though. Promise you I do. That doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. Let's try this one. Oh, hold on. Oh, it's closer. We'll go with that one. All right, so let's start out in the AFC East with the Buffalo Bills. Quarterback Shane Buechele, he signed a 1-year deal with the Bills. DJ Moore has been acquired in a trade with the Chicago Bears. That was the other day. A 2nd-round pick. Good Lord. The Bears, man. The Bears, they've made a couple of good moves today. Connor McGovern, he re-signed. So we didn't have a chance at Connor McGovern. We didn't have really a chance at Tyler Linderbaum. Those are probably the two better centers out there. And then Tyler Biadasz. Honestly, that's the one that I wish that we would have brought in. But hey, it is what it is. I think that Cade Mays is going to be just fine. Safety Sam Franklin. Hey, do me a favor in the chat too. Let me start a poll here. Are you guys good with Cade Mays? You're going to love this one. It's kind of twofold. All right, so back at it here. Safety, Sam Franklin, he also re-signed with the team. Dolphins, they brought in Malik Willis. And as a matter of fact, I have something that I wanted to share. Oh, I've got to find it. Hold on, I got to get off this screen. I totally forgot about this. This is the point where I was going to bring it in. Hold the phone. Nope. Get out of there. One sec, guys. I got to find this thing. Oh, there's going to be some good sound bites from this that I'll be using throughout the season. I think I recorded it because it's not popping up. Please tell me I recorded it. I did. Okay. Here we go. I got to get this up on the screen somehow. Give me one sec. I'll be right back. You guys are going to love this.
Throwing middle, caught inside the 5. Jahmyr Gibbs to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. 14 yards on the strike. Goff to Gibbs. You can't cover that man one-on-one. You just can't do it.
Nice job.
Jared takes the snap, back looking, throwing middle. Got Amon-Ra inside the 2, to the 1, to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Nice job.
Mariota's got it back. Pressure comes. He's hit. Slips out of it. Rolling to his right. Now he's going down. Brian Branch got him. Sack for the Lions.
All right, here we go. I'm probably gonna have to do a little doctoring here, but we'll get it.
I believe the Dolphins signed Malik Willis.
We'll get it. Hold on.
Somebody got me a Tua, and they're bringing in 2 and 2.
Hold the phone. Come on, dude.
I believe the
Don't
Dolphins.
tell me I
signed
don't
Malik
have
Willis.
audio on this. I'll be upset. Oh, I know I have
Somebody
audio.
got me
I know I do. Okay, so this is what I think about now. When I hear the term crash out, this is exactly what I'm thinking about now. From now on, this is the exact image that I'm gonna have of Lions fans that are pissed off at Brad Holmes. Okay?
I believe the Dolphins signed Malik Willis.
Somebody got me a Tua, and they're bringing in 2 and 2. The sequel. Somebody got me a Tua, and they're bringing in 2 and 2. The sequel.
I believe the Dolphins signed Malik Willis.
Somebody got me a Tua, and they're bringing in 2 and 2. The sequel.
Oh, it gets better.
Tua to Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
When they get their number 1 pick, they give them draft picks for a guy who sucks. He's 2 and 2. He's the same quarterback. Could have given Quinn Ewers a shot. But nope. Doing the same mistake again. God damn it.
Oh, it's gold. I love this guy. Love him. Totally made my day today. Because all I could think about, man, there goes Trey Hendrickson. Oh, man, there goes Max Crosby. And I can just see the crash shot. I can see it all. And then this dude pops up on my Twitter. I'm like, and there he is. He's right in front of me, and he's doing the whole act. It was perfect. The most epic crash out of 2026. Whoever this dude is, great job, dude. Great work. So expect some sound bites coming from that, and maybe an occasional pop-up video. Love it. But that's what I'm going to think about from now on. When I hear Lions crash out, Brad Holmes crash out, or someone's crashing out, or this, that, and the other thing, that's what I'm going to think about. All right, let's move forward. All right, moving on. So Malik Willis, apparently it's Tua number 2. Just signed a 3-year, $67.5 million deal with Miami. New England Patriots, they brought in fullback Reggie Gilliam and defensive lineman Draymond Jones. Crazy, right? A team that was just in the Super Bowl hasn't done a whole lot today. Now, you would think of any team out there that they are the closest to going back to the Super Bowl. Why are they not making all these crazy signings today? New York Jets, Breece Hall received the franchise tag that'll pay him $14.3 million here in 2026. Two sides still working on a deal. Tight end Jelani Woods also re-signed on a free agent deal. Kingsley Enabare, edge rusher, signed a 1-year, $10 million deal. Edge Joseph Osai also signed a 3-year, $36 million deal. Defensive lineman David Animiata also signed a 1-year, $10.5 million deal. Trevonde Sweat recently acquired via trade with the Tennessee Titans in exchange for edge rusher Jermaine Johnson. That one's crazy to me. I can't believe they got rid of Jermaine Johnson like that. Linebacker Demario Davis signed a 2-year, $22 million deal, and then Mika Fitzpatrick was also acquired on trade today via the Dolphins in exchange for a 26th, 7th-round draft pick. He's going to sign a 3-year, $40 million extension with the Jets. Very smart move. Not sure it was a good move like for the Lions, but all smart moves. Mega Hustler 313. Yeah, we all gonna miss Anzalone, man. All gonna miss it. All gonna miss the Goldilocks running out through the tunnels. Baltimore Ravens, fairly quiet day because they brought in edge rusher Max Crosby on a massive deal that was 2 first-round picks, including the number 14 overall in 2026. Offensive lineman John Simpson signed a 3-year, $30 million deal, and quarterback Tyler Huntley re-signed with the club on a 2-year, $11 million deal. Cincinnati Bengals, well, they lost Trey Hendrickson, but, well, they brought back Dalton Reisner, and edge Boye Mafe signed a 3-year, $60 million deal. Cornerback Jalen Davis re-signed a 1-year deal, and then safety Brian Cook expected to sign a 3-year, $40.25 million deal. Offensive tackle Titus Howard is being acquired via trade with the Texans in exchange for a 5th-round pick. See, now this one, again, a lot of Lions fans are going to say, what the hell, man? Like, why are we not bringing guys like this in? That's a $21 million deal. I mean, that's an exact exchange of Taylor Decker's contract. And so right now, I don't believe that the Lions have the money to do it until they open up, what they've already opened up and let us know how much is actually there. And it's probably a smart thing. It's probably a smart thing that the Lions are saying, you know what? I'm not going to let anybody else know anything because all it's going to do is create all this pandemonium in Detroit. You see what I'm saying? Like, every time they announce something, someone always has something negative to say about it. So why just not tell anybody until we are forced to? So that way for the next 3 days, when all these signings are going on, we don't really got to hear shit because you don't know how much money we have. I think it was smart. I think it was really smart of them not to publicly release it. Doesn't mean it won't slip. Doesn't mean someone won't leak it, but really, really smart. Cleveland Browns also signed 3-year, $49.5 million deal with offensive guard Zion Johnson. I wonder if they're taking a quarterback this draft. Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Michael Pittman acquired in a trade today, also signing a damn good deal, 3-year, $59 million. Linebacker Cole Holcomb re-signing on a 2-year, $5 million deal. Cornerback Jamel Dean signing a 3-year, $36.75 million deal. And cornerback Asante Samuel Jr. is re-signing with the club on a 1-year, $4 million deal. Like, that's so cheap. All right, Houston, they got David Montgomery. We got Juice Scruggs, 7th-round pick, and a 4th-round pick. They also agreed to a 1-year extension on Dalton Schultz. They re-signed offensive tackle Trent Brown. They re-signed offensive guard Ed Ingram, defensive lineman Naquan Jones, Sheldon Rankins. Edge Daniel Hunter agreed to a 1-year, $40 million extension, and linebacker EJ Speed also re-signed. So really, when you look at what the Texans have done, they've done nothing. They re-signed all their guys and brought in David Montgomery. That's what they did. The Colts. Daniel Jones received a transitional tag, a 1-year, $37.8 million deal, which gives the Colts the right to match any offer sheet submitted by another team. I don't quite understand this one. Like, doesn't the dude have a torn Achilles? I mean, maybe I'm missing something here, but why are you willing to hand the dude $37.8 million to keep him on your roster if he's possibly not even going to play this year? I don't. Wouldn't he would have just reverted back to the IR at some point? Maybe I'm missing something. Like I said, Alec Pierce signed a banger of a deal today, or will be as he's re-signed now to a 4-year, 114. Arden Key signed a 2-year deal worth up to $20 million. Colby Wooden signed and acquired in trade with the Green Bay Packers in exchange for linebacker Zaire Franklin. And kicker Blake Group signed or re-signed a 1-year deal worth up to 1.4. Jacksonville Jaguars, they acquired DJ Dallas, tight end Quentin Morris, edge Dennis Gardeck, defensive lineman Matt Dickerson, cornerback Monteric Brown. Let me check this real quick, see if we got anything popping. Oh my God. Didn't I tell you something like this was going to happen with Tua and or what's his name out of Arizona? He's signing a 1-year deal with the Falcons. Tua Tagovailoa is going to the Falcons on a 1-year vet minimum. That is craziness. Good luck. I think Tua should have just resigned a long time ago. Or retired, excuse me. All right, it is now official as of 14 minutes ago. Taylor Decker has been released from the Detroit Lions. It has been made official. We'll give a little shout out to Taylor Decker. All right, it's good enough. See you, Dak. Good luck, buddy. Let's see. Commanders bringing back Tim Settle on a 3-year deal. That was announced just 13 minutes ago. And Giants are re-signing offensive tackle Jermaine Illuminor. Well, there goes another one off the board for the Lions. If you're thinking that there was a possibility there, well, it's not anymore. Man, it is slim to none in this free agency period. Slim to none. All right, Tennessee Titans, they're signing Mitchell Trubisky on a 2-year deal. Wan'Dale Robinson signed a 4-year deal. Jermaine Johnson was acquired in trade, and the whole Javonte Sweat exchange there. Defensive lineman John Franklin signed a 3-year deal, and cornerback Cordell Flott also agreed to terms on a 3-year deal. Alontae Taylor agreed to terms on a 3-year deal. You guys remember that conversation we had a couple years ago when I said you won't see any more 4-year deals? Like very, very few. You won't see any more 4-year deals. Very, very few. You might see 5-year deals, but you won't see 4-year deals. See, 3-year deals gets them into their next deal, whereas 4-year deals kind of locks them in, and they're kind of screwed. And there's a lot more you can do with the numbers. 5-year deals, kind of a different story, because then you're guaranteed that money, even though the number is going to go way up in that 3rd, 4th, 5th year when the salary cap rises. They're still locked into a pretty solid contract at 5 years. Long snapper Morgan Cox also re-signed with the team. Denver Broncos, man, they've been fairly quiet, but they re-signed Sam Ehlinger, quarterback. They re-signed J.K. Dobbins, running back, and they re-signed linebacker Justin Strand. Kansas City Chiefs, man, they led the day today with the big news with Kenneth Walker signed a 3-year deal worth $45 million. Travis Kelce decided to come back one more season. Kyrus Tonga, this is a big one. Like when we're talking of a defensive lineman that I would have loved to have seen in Detroit this year, that's the name. Kyrus Tonga he's a straight baller, man. Like the dude, I think he has former rugby in him too. But Kyrus Tonga would have been a guy that I would have loved to have seen join the Detroit Lions. I think he would have given us that extra edge, that edge, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just need an edge. And I think he's it. Long snapper James Winchester re-signed on a 1-year deal. I remember this last season, he was lining up in the tush push, and he was also lining up as a fullback. And so he can do a lot. He's an interesting character, man. The Raiders, they signed Jalen Naylor to a fairly decent deal. I think it was a 3-year, $45 million deal, if I'm not mistaken. So, he's out of the North now. They also brought in Tyler Linderbaum. Golly, 3 years, $81 million. Matter of fact, I think that is the exact same number that Jameson Williams has. Cornerback Teron Johnson was acquired via trade with the Buffalo Bills, along with a 2026 7th-round pick. Cornerback Eric Stokes also re-signing with the team. If you don't kind of catch the theme of the day today so far, it's re-sign. There's a few trades, but I mean, it's just not a whole lot, right? That there's not a bunch of big names going out. There's been a few, but it's just not an exciting free agency when you kind of think about it. Fullback Alec Ingold signed a 2-year deal. Charlie Kohler signed a 3-year deal. Tyler Biad signed a 3-year deal. Defensive tackle Tyre Tart signed a 3-year extension. And Khalil Mack is re-signing with the team for one. Who the hell is going to pay this dude $18 million? Oh, the Chargers. How stupid can you be? You're bringing back Khalil Mack for $18 million? Like, just idiotic. I don't understand. You're just wasting money. He's not the guy. He's just not the guy. But hey, I guess I don't got to worry about it because I'm not a Charger. We're almost there. Dallas Cowboys, Javonte Williams re-signed. George Pickens received the franchise tag. Rashawn Gary was acquired via trade. Safety Jalen Thompson agreed to terms on a new 3-year deal. And kicker Brandon Aubrey received a 2nd-round tender. They're trying to force the hand there. The Giants, they re-signed their wide receiver, Olazewski. Tight end Isaiah Likely on the move from the Ravens. He is going to be signing a 3-year, $40 million deal, worth up to almost $48 million with incentives. Linebacker Tremaine Edmonds also signed a 3-year, $36 million deal. So the Giants made 2 moves today. They brought in 2 new players. Eagles, well, they haven't done shit. Defensive tackle Jordan Davis. He signed a 3-year, $78 million contract extension that includes $65 million guaranteed. Wow. That's incredible. That's an incredible deal. Incredible deal. Matter of fact, I gotta look up something. Take a quick pause on this. Let's take a pause. I want to look up old Lee McNeil. How many people do we have in? Is there anybody in the chat? Chat's not moving today. Not like I haven't been on long enough today. Got everybody's live right now. Jeez, oh Pete's. Oh, I guess we do got some people in. Almost 200 people. Look at that. Got to start chatting it up in the chat, man. Are you guys excited? Are you okay? I mean, 94% of you are saying that the Lions are doing it right. 94%. 80 votes. Almost half the people in the chat right now are saying that Brad Holmes did a good job. I appreciate y'all. I really do. Got the good people up in here. Lee McNeil. So his deal, the only reason why I'm doing this, I'm just curious what his deal was in comparison to Davis. That was like one of the last 4-year deals that I remember. And it was $4 years, $97 million. $55 million guaranteed. Average annual salary of $24.25 million. Jordan Davis got a 3-year deal at $78 million, which is an average of 1.8 more than Aleem, but he also got $10 million more in guaranteed money. All because Brad decided to sign a Lee McNeil last year. Last year being 2024. So before the 2025 season. That's why Brad did it. It's exactly why Brad did it. He saved $10 million in guaranteed money, and he saved a couple $1 million a year, which is 2 players. Another smart deal for Brad Holmes. Congratulations, dude. Like, I get it that he had a rough season last year. It was expected. If anyone expected that it was going to be anything but, then I don't know what game you're watching, but I'm going to give Brad Holmes the jackpot, man. Let's try that again. There we go. Jackpot. Good job, Brad. All right, let's get back into taking a look at the rest of the league. Marcus Mariota re-signed a 1-year deal with Washington. Treylon Burke signed a 1-year deal worth up to $4 million with Washington. Offensive lineman Nick Allegretti, he signed a new 2-year deal. And then offensive lineman Andrew Wiley re-signed with the team. Edge Odafe Owe signed a 4-year, $100 million deal. Wow, that's big money, man. $25 million a year, $68 million guaranteed. Dietrich Wise re-signed on a free agency deal. So right there, they brought in 2 edge, 2 offensive linemen. That's a good haul for Washington. And they also brought in our guy, Amik Robertson, on a 2-year, $16 million deal with 9.3 guaranteed. And there's the Bears. The Bears acquired center Garrett Bradbury. That's a hell of a move. In a trade with the Patriots in exchange for a 5th-round pick. All right, let's pause here. That's Garrett Bradbury's contract. What'd you find out, J-Rod? You had to go watch a video. What'd you find out? Anything new? All right, so taking a look at Garrett Bradbury's deal here. Let me see if I can get this up on the screen for y'all. And again, I apologize about my voice. I'm still not feeling the greatest, so doing the best I can here. That's not the right screen, apparently. That's not the right size screen either. What's going on? Why is it all wacky? I'll fix it. All right, there we go. Okay, so the Bears brought in Garrett Bradbury. They gave up what was it? They gave up a 5th-round pick for a 1-year rental. Bradbury's only signed through 2026, and his cap is only $5.7 million. He's also, how old is he? I thought he was a little bit older. He's 30. He'll be about 31 when the season starts. So he's probably only going to be in the league a little bit. I wonder if they're going to do any sort of a restructure of his contract, try to get him out to 2 years and give him a 1-year extension. They could. I mean, he signed a 2-year, $9.5 million contract before, which is really low. He's probably looking at that contract for Linderbaum like, what in the world? He's been pretty healthy throughout his career. Let's take a look at him on PFF, though. just to get the quick snapshot. While we're doing this, it's probably a good idea for me to remind you of DetroitFootballJournal.com. I got to thank a lot of you for signing up today. I've had at least 15 new subscribers today. So thank you, and thank you. Congratulations, obviously, for supporting the work that I'm doing. You'll get all of the channel for free if you sign up just with your email. Just go to DetroitFootballJournal.com. I'll be making some changes to it over time, make it look a little bit better. I'm not the best with websites, so I'm doing the best job I can for now, so I can find someone that can really jazz it up for me. Garrett Bradbury. So, I mean, a 60.1, a 56.2 against the run, and a 63.3, pass blocking grade. Not good. I mean, he's a bottom feeder in the league. I know it's someone that we talked about, but he didn't give up any penalties and didn't give up any sacks. So when you look at what the Lions did, I mean, it's kind of a similar deal. Outside of one glaring difference, and that is Mays is younger. Mays is bigger, stronger, and hasn't given up sacks for 2 years. The biggest question, that we're gonna have here with the Bears, and most importantly, Caleb Williams, is this is going to be now his third center in 3 seasons. That can be a big problem, right? That can be a big problem for a quarterback that is still young. He's only had one decent season, and quite honestly, it wasn't that great. When you really look at it, it was hero ball, and if it wasn't for hero ball, he did nothing at all. His completion percentage was like 60%, if that. It was not good. It was not good at all. So I would be on the lookout. Like I said, this last season when it ended, I said the Bears are going to go right back to the dumpster. And now that they've replaced their center, I just have this feeling that Caleb Williams is going to fall off the train tracks again. Cade Mays, I see your comment in there real quick. So I looked him up earlier. I don't know where you're getting your numbers from. Someone said that Cade Mays was the 7th worst pass blocker at center. That's wrong. He was actually the 13th best pass blocker in the league for centers. 69.4. If you weighed him against every offensive lineman, that's different. But that's not accurate either. If I were to go in and weigh all offensive linemen, he definitely won't be 7th worst. His number was right here, 13 out of 40. His run blocking grade was 7th worst. That was 33rd out of 40. I'm not really worried about his turnover to TD ratio. If you're talking about Caleb Williams, he throws turnovers at the very wrong time. That's why the Bears suck. That's why they didn't go any further. Anyway, moving on. They signed Neville Gallimore on a 2-year, $12 million deal. Linebacker Devin Bush signed on a 3-year, $30 million deal. And DeMarco Jackson re-signed on a 2-year, $7.5 million deal. This is the big one for me. This is the one that really had me boiling. You guys, if you've been listening to me, this is the guy I wanted. Kobe Bryant. And the Bears brought him in on a 3-year, $40 million deal, including $25.75 million in guarantees. That really burns me. Because if Brad thinks that he can go in this season trusting Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, I think we're going to be in trouble. All right, here's our Lions. Who did Ben steal? Jack? Who did Ben steal? He didn't steal nobody. Cade Mays signing a free agent deal with Detroit. Today, we finally got a center in the house, offensive tackle. Larry Borum also agreed to terms on a deal with the team. And offensive tackle Juice Scruggs, well, he came through the trade. Now, Borum, I didn't get a chance to look him up yet or do anything with him. But initially, I will tell you, this is what I love the most. 6'5", which you can't see. 325, 33 and a quarter inch arms. Remember what we were talking about earlier? 33 and a quarter is the bar of entry in the NFL. And then look at these mitts, 10.5-inch mitts. He's 26 years old. He's got 5 years of experience. And, oh, yeah, his hometown? Detroit, Michigan. It's a Detroit boy. Jack, we could care less about the position coaches. And Swift has not been a Detroit Lion prior to going to Chicago. He was with Philly. He hasn't been a Detroit Lion in years. By years, we're talking like more than 4. So try again, bud. You must be a Bears fan. Welcome in. I just got done bearing down. How about you? Every time I bear down, I shit out of Ben. All right, Green Bay Packers offensive lineman Sean Ryan re-signed on a 3-year, $33 million contract with max value. I'm just having fun with you, Jack. $39 million. And then linebacker Zaire Franklin being acquired in trade again with the Indianapolis Colts in exchange for defensive tackle Colby Wooden. Now, earlier I mentioned this about the Packers. I just have this sneaking suspicion that they're kind of hurting right now. And they're hurting because of cap space. Let's take a look at their cap space real quick. Okay, I'll respond to this one. Jonah Jackson, he was not a Lion before going to Chicago. Dude, you've got to check your sources, my man. Like, just punch it into Wiki or something. He was gone, went to a different team, and then went to Chicago. And then soon Taylor Decker, I doubt it, but okay. I'm good. Like, I'm fine with that. Totally fine with that. I'm not worried about it. Actually, please do. Put him on the left side. All right. Taking a look at their cap space. Right now, they have $31.443 million available according to the latest of Spot Track. Probably help if I was showing you this on the screen, wouldn't it? There we go. I would assume that includes these deals. The recent trades, the Rashawn Gary deal to Dallas, and now the Colby Wooden trade going to the Colts, I believe. So they've now got some more cap to work with. They don't have first round picks, but they were able to bring in, what did they get? They got Colby Wooden, and that's it out of this one. And I think did they get a 4th round pick for? Where's the Rashawn Gary deal? Why is it not listed in here? What's up with that? I'm not sure why. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not a big deal. But just kind of going through their contracts here. I mean, they've got some big contracts. They're going to be in some trouble. How many players they have? They have 67. Man, they are doing way better than us. They don't have that far away to go to get their team, on the field with their 90 guys. They only have 23 players to go. The Lions have 41. We have more than that now since we lost a couple of players today. I have a feeling, like I said earlier, that you don't have first round picks, so you can't draft early to replace what you lost. You brought in Micah Parsons, who's going to be injured all season for the most part, and you're still paying a dude close to $50 million a year. The fact that the Packers even have $31 million right now is they're lucky, but they don't have as big a contracts as the Lions. They've got some big contracts coming. They just lost Naylor, right? And Jalen Naylor was a Packer last year, was he? I believe. Pretty sure he was. So that's a deal that they don't have to spend any money on. Like, it's a player that they don't have to worry about anymore. Oh, there we go. Warren King just updated us. Said the Commanders just extended Tunsil for 2 years. $60.2 million. Good night. Oh, wait. Raw, we can't do that. We can't do that. Yeah, he was fine, man. Can't do that. All right, keep an eye motor in here. Let's get to the Vikings. Eric Wilson re-signed on a 3-year, $22.5 million deal, and then James Pierce is signing with the team on an $8.5 million deal. So Minnesota hasn't done much to get better. You know, I'm still waiting on the left shoe to drop for a quarterback. Like, what are they going to do? And why hasn't McCarthy been moved yet? You know, there's been some rumors that they were shopping McCarthy during the combine. I don't know how accurate that stuff really is, but I'm surprised that nothing's really happened. And quite honestly, I don't know anybody that would really want him. He hasn't shown anything. If anything, he's shown to be wildly inaccurate. He can run. Maybe he should be a wide receiver. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I'm surprised we haven't seen anything yet. Like, they didn't jump in for Kyler Murray yet. They didn't jump in for Tua. What are the Vikings doing? Like, who are they really going to trot out JJ McCarthy next season? They're probably taking a quarterback in the draft. You know, maybe it's Ty Simpson. It could be Ty Simpson, to be honest with you. All right, next up, NFC South, Atlanta Falcons. Wide receiver Jahan Dotson signed a free agent deal with the Falcons. Olamide Zacchaeus signed a free agent deal. That was stolen from the Bears, I believe. Tight end Austin Hooper also signed a 1-year deal worth $3.25 million. This one kind of burns me a little bit here because we needed a tight end. I think Austin Hooper would have been okay. I mean, for $3 million for one year, and it's not all guaranteed. Like, would have been a great deal, but they doubled down. They brought in Kyle Pitts, franchise tag Kyle Pitts. They're going to have to pay him $15 million this year, which honestly, it's a steal for Kyle Pitts. I know he hasn't produced a ton, but he can. And if you have the right quarterback there, he will. I would have loved to have seen somebody like Kyle Pitts in Detroit, but the money's just too rich, you know, and I've been saying that since day one. It's just too much. They also brought in kicker Nick Folk on a 2-year contract. Jaylon Phillips signed a massive deal with Carolina. Jaylon Phillips signed a 4-year, $120 million deal with the Panthers. Akalib Evans re-signed with the team on a 1-year deal per Mike Garafolo. And J.J. Jansen also re-signed with the team on a 1-year deal. Travis Etienne, he is headed back down to the Saints, where he's from. I guess he's from the Louisiana area. He signed a 4-year, $52 million deal, while offensive guard David Edwards signed a deal with the Saints that'll pay him upward of $15 million per season. And then defensive lineman John Ridgway, I don't even know who that guy is, re-signed on a 2-year, $6.2 million deal. And then safety Julian Blackmon, he also re-signed on a 1-year deal with the Saints. Tampa Bay Bucks, well, they lost a massive one today, but they also gained one. It's not a fair gain, but they lost Mike Evans, who is signing a 3-year deal. So they replaced him with Alex Anzalone, signing a 2-year, $17 million deal. And tight end Cade Otton is also re-signing with the team. Running back Kenneth Gainwell signed a 2-year, $14 million contract. I think Tampa's going to be fine. Obviously, Mike Evans, I never expected him ever expected him to leave Tampa. I thought that for sure he would have retired a Buck. But like I said earlier, there was something that I read. Let me see if I can find it. And I really like what Mike Evans said. Like this is what competing is all about. And he's going to the 49ers, by the way. I don't think I finished my thought there. He's going to the 49ers. Here it is. Tampa Bay will always, this is kind of about him and kind of what he's saying. Tampa Bay will always be a special place for Mike Evans, and his respect and gratitude for the organization and its fans will never change. The decision came down to Mike Evans wanting a new challenge and a fresh opportunity while he still feels he has a great deal left to give the game. When the time comes, hold on. Let me find it. All right, I'm going to paraphrase it because this is not what I thought it was. I thought this was it. It wasn't it. So essentially what he was saying is that, he feels that he's his best when he can challenge himself. And, I guess, waking up every single day, going to Tampa Bay's, Raymond James Stadium, just kind of wore its welcome out. You kind of get into a rut. You do the same thing. You eat the same foods. You drive the same cars. You go to the same places. It just got stale. And he felt like, you know what? I have some time left. I can still play this game. But now I want to go do it where I don't feel comfortable. And so he's taking the last part of his game, and he's going to go play somewhere else with the 49ers. He's going to stay in some warm weather. And he's going to try to resurrect what he what he has left. And I mean, the dude's played incredible throughout his career. So to take this kind of a step, I mean, this is like the Kobe Bryant kind of a step. Not Kobe the football player, but the basketball player. Right? This is a Michael Jordan kind of a step. Or LeBron James kind of, I hate LeBron, but anyway, it's a LeBron James kind of a step. He's still a hell of an athlete. Where they want to challenge themselves to be the best. And that's what he's doing. And he's getting paid a lot of money to do it. A lot. A ton. Honestly, I was shocked when I saw the number. Tyler Algier, he's signing a 2-year deal with the Cardinals. Blake Griffin, punter, is also re-signing with the team on a 1-year deal. Chad Ryland, kicker, re-signed with the team. Los Angeles Rams, this is going to be our competition for this year, man. The Rams are going to be in it to win it. Tyler Higbee re-signed a 2-year, $8 million deal. Offensive tackle David Quessenberry re-signed a 1-year deal. Cornerback Trent McDuffie that they just acquired in trade from Kansas City in exchange for the 2026 first-round pick and which is number 29, and the 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick, as well as a 27 third-round pick. Has agreed, get this, 4 years, $124 million. Now, when I first saw this, and I was just laughing, because I'm like, you just paid what? You paid $13.6 million to Trent McDuffie, and you gave away 4 picks on a 1-year rental? Oh, they're going to get fleeced. And they got fleeced. I don't know how you're paying this dude $30-some-odd million a year, and you just gave up all your future with all those draft picks. One corner is not going to save you. They're just not. It's crazy. I would still love to have a great corner. Don't get me wrong, but at $30 million a year, is everybody just getting $30 million now? All right, cornerback Jalen Watson. They also signed another big deal, bringing in Jalen Watson on a 3-year, $51 million deal. And then they also bring back Cameron Curl on a 3-year, $36 million deal. So their no-fly zone is going to be tough. They're going to have a tough defense, for sure. For sure. And then we got San Francisco 49ers. That's where Mike Evans landed on a 3-year deal. I thought it was reported to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $67 million. So right around 22 point something per year. That's a ton of money for 11-year vet that's coming off a pretty major injury. They also re-signed their long snapper and re-signed their kicker. And then the Seattle Seahawks cornerback Joshua Jobe agreed to terms on a deal to re-sign with the team. And that is it. Those are all of your signings. Let's check the wire here and what's going on. Hey, look at that. Pride of Detroit just put a post out about 38 minutes ago, giving us an update. So far, we've added Cade Mays, Larry Borum, Juice Scruggs, 4th round pick, 7th round pick. We lost David Montgomery, Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow, Alex Anzalone, and Amik Robertson. Man, we lost quite a few. Couple of good ones in there. Actually, they're all pretty good. All right, latest and greatest right now. The Saints have agreed to terms with Noah Fant in a 2-year deal. And the Broncos are re-signing Alex Singleton on a 2-year deal worth $15.5 million. We already spoke about Tim Settle. Oh, Kelsey got a 1-year, $12 million deal. My goodness. He definitely doesn't need to play. So he's got to be playing to he wants to win, man. He wants to win one more. That's an interesting depth chart for the Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew. I would have loved to have had Gardner Minshew in Detroit. I really would. And then the news that someone put in the chat too, I couldn't post it in time. I think it was Trace. The Broncos are releasing linebacker Dre Greenlaw. That's an interesting name. Got to keep our eyes on that one. I'm not saying that he's coming to Detroit. I'm not saying that anything's happening. I'm just saying keep your eyes on that one. I can't remember what his injury was. And I can't remember what his contract was, so I'm going to look it up. Yes, the Chiefs got Kenneth Walker too. Yeah, it's crazy. They're doing pretty good. I hate the Chiefs, man. They just bounce right back, like it's nothing. They bounce right back. All right, so 3 years, 31.5. That was the last deal that he signed, and that was in 2025. So Dre Greenlaw getting released. Let me just cut him real quick. Oh, I got to sign in again. I thought I was already signed in. What time is it? 5:50. There's going to be some action here soon. I can feel it. Okay, so they're going to save about $6 million by releasing him. They'll end up with a cap hit of about $4.3 million. They being the Broncos. Which means, how old is Greenlaw? How old is he? He's 29 years old when the season starts. So, I mean, he's not over the hill just yet. That's an interesting name. The only thing is he plays squarely in that 3-4 defense. So it may not be a great fit, but man, I hope he doesn't end up where I don't want him. All right. Anything else on your mind? Anything else you guys want to talk about? Anyone got thoughts on Larry Brome? Tackle from the Dolphins and the Michigan native. Is that Borum you're talking about? Larry Borum? I don't have any thoughts on the guy yet. I don't know anything about him. Let's kind of go through it. Let's see who he's all about. Oh, he is. He's from the Bears. Where's that dude that was in the chat? We got your guy. We got your guy now. We got Chicago Bear. How about them apples? Funny how that happens, huh? All right, the weird thing in here is looking at his deal. Played with the Dolphins last year. He was a Bear before that. So the Bears, he was a UFA, unrestricted free agent. But prior to that, he was selected in the 5th round. Here, let me get this up on the screen. Selected in the 5th round, 2021. 5 years of experience. A few injuries, not many. Ankle, and then the C19. Looks like he's been on a rotation. Swing tackle. Or no, missed games. Let me see. So back in 25, if he played in 16, started 11, he must have been a backup. He's only played 67% of the snaps. And that's probably where the majority of his snaps came from, is starting these 11 games. He started 3 in 2024. Again, that's probably where the majority of these snaps came from. So he's either a swing tackle / backup. He's not a starter, but he is a right tackle. So that's interesting that we brought in another right, or we're bringing in a right tackle. And again, I'm not trying to be this revisionist, but just this morning and last night, I mentioned to everyone, look, stop looking for left tackles. We got to start looking for right tackles. And the thought process is, if Penei Sewell does go to the left, we need some right tackles. This is competition right now. You're bringing guys in to compete and see what falls out. I don't know what the Lions paid him yet, but his market value is 2.4. Anyone see what the Lions paid him? Watching some film here on Scruggs. Arcade Maze, excuse me. Okay, so on DetroitFootballJournal.com, I'm pretty positive that I can go live from the website. I'm going to try to figure it out. And what I would like to do is figure out a way to do film review this year differently. Because it's really hard to do film review and then have an issue like, on here where you get copyright. And I don't want that. So the goal is to share it and talk about it, teach about it, right? Not make money on it. So it's really hard to do. So I'm going to figure it out. And if I can figure it out in the next week or so, we're going to start looking at some tape together, and maybe I can reach out to All 22. I'm sure he's already going to put something together anyway for these guys. I can't show any clips. Yeah, that's what I was just watching, the clips of him going downfield. It's on Jeremy Reisman's. Here, I'll drop it in the chat. Right here. What is it? Arf Riverside? What's happening, man? Let's see. The Wall Street Wizard says, thanks. I'm thinking same thing, especially given what we don't know about Geo. Yeah, we don't know enough about Geo. I know Raw B really likes Geo. I mean, I do too. Don't get me wrong. I feel like we need more. We need more versus less. I would rather have a stud on the left and not have to worry about it. Let me just check my updates real quick. Okay. All right, so taking a look at free agency, I guess for the rest of the evening, I'll be back if we get any major action. I'll do some videos. I mean, so far we've got 2 videos and I don't know 8 hours worth of live stream or whatever it has been today. But we'll finish it up. I'll probably plan on 7:30 to get back, so I'll take like an hour and a half break. And between now and then, let's hope we get some good news. There's a lot of players out there. Right? There's a ton of guys that have not been signed. And if we go through the list real quick, let me find it. Let's go through the top 101 real quick and let's see if they've been taken. Trey Hendrickson's gone. Did Devin Lloyd didn't sign yet, did he? I don't think he did. Oh, wait. When is this list from? Yeah, it's just from today. Romeo Dobbs, haven't heard anything about him. Clavon Chason, haven't heard anything about him yet. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I haven't. And then my guy that I want to see come to Detroit, Chigozium Akwankwo. I'm sure I butchered his name. I apologize. I'm pretty sure Tariq Woolen's gone. Leo Chenal's available still. Last I looked. Nakobe Dean's still available. Quay Walker's still available. Let's see. I don't know that I've heard anything about Jaquan Brisker. I don't think I have. I think and you guys put it in the chat if I'm wrong. But I think that Jaquan Brisker is still available. Not really worried about Joey Bosa. Haven't heard anything on Nashawn Wright. I could be wrong, but I think Ebiketie got a deal today. We just went through that whole list and I can't remember any of it. Let me search. Yeah, Ebiketie's not signed. Definitely haven't heard Chubb's name called today. And then my other guy, AJ Epinesa. Epinesa's still available. DJ Reader's still available. Stephon Diggs is still available. We don't need Aaron Rodgers. We don't need Deebo Samuel, but he's available. Kevin Zeitler's still available. I think Newsom's available. Looks like Newsom's available. Hassan Reddick's available. This Cater guy, I don't know much about him at all, but he's available. Rashad White's available. Godert's available. Cameron Jordan, I'm good on him, but he's available. Al-Qadim Muhammad's still free. He hasn't been signed anywhere. Braxton Jones is available. I'm pretty sure Kevin Byard's free. At least according to my list here, he is. Malcolm Kuntz. I'm surprised that Malcolm Kuntz is back on. I mean, he was just a free agent last year. You might be able to get him on the cheap. You might. It's possible. Let me go back to the other screen. For some reason. Oh, never mind. I don't know anything about Salyer. I haven't heard anything on him. And Hargrave, I think last we heard on Hargrave that I thought he was getting traded. Okay. Trayvon Diggs is available. Quincy Williams. There's an interesting one. Forgot about Quincy Williams. God, he's short for a linebacker. Yes, I'm not big on names, Ron Mills. I'm not big on names because names get you in trouble, man. They cost you a lot of money and then they don't perform, or they cost you a lot of money and then they get injured, Micah Parsons and others. Names don't always do it for you, man. There's a lot of no-namers that just won a Super Bowl. You know? A lot of no-namers. Reed Blankenship's interesting at 27. I think that he could secure the back end. 6'1", 203 is prototypical size. Middle Tennessee State's funny. I used to cook. I used to cook for them back in the day when I had a restaurant down in North Carolina. They would come in during the season. Whenever they would come in to play Appalachian State, I would do all the catering for them, and it was a fun time. Got to meet a lot of guys. Hell, he might have been on that team back then. I don't know. That was back in like 08, 09. Now we know Kobe Durant. Oh, that's a different Kobe, is it? No. Which Kobe is this? He's still available. Different Kobe. Chauncey Gardner. Hey, Jadeveon Clowney. Speaking of Jadeveon Clowney, let me just bring up this one thing, because the whole Kirby Joseph thing, the reason why Jadeveon Clowney has bounced around so much, I kind of had him pegged wrong a little bit, or a lot of it. But the reason why he's bounced around so much over the last many seasons is he has, at least what is speculated to be, a very similar knee issue that Kirby Joseph has. And so teams were hesitant to invest significant amounts of money into him because they never knew what they were going to get out of him. Just so happened he's stayed fairly healthy. That knee has been okay. I'm sure it'll be trashed when he's done playing. But a little interesting that teams have shied away from investing anything but a year or two into him, and that's it because of that whole knee issue. And so with the degenerative knee problems that Kirby is speculated to be going through with cartilage issues, We might get lucky. We might get lucky this year. We need some. We need some luck. We might get lucky with Kirby. Yeah, Deshaun Hand, I was just thinking the same thing. Blast from the past, but it's just 10 years ago. 10 years flies, man. 10 years flies. Weeks fly. Why do I think Trey Hendrickson isn't? Trey Hendrickson's done. Last I heard, he's going to Dallas. Oh, there goes Quay Walker. Let me do an update. Broncos finally did release Trey Greenlaw, so that's done. And it looks like Quay Walker is headed out to Vegas. I'm so surprised by that. And Nakobe Dean is now done. He's also going out to Vegas. Good Lord. Vegas might have something this year, man. They're putting together a pretty good team of misfits, but at least pretty good team. Noah Fant's gone. He just went to the Saints. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, so as far as Trey going to Dallas, that's just the hottest, latest. Matter of fact, yesterday, there was conversation about Trey going to Dallas. And just earlier today. And get this, the Bengals, if I remember correctly, the Bengals actually reached out to Vegas about Max Crosby. You know, they really screwed up. The Bengals did. They really screwed up. You could have had 2 first-round picks for Trey 2 seasons ago. And they said no. And so now they don't get anything. And they paid him a boatload of money. Here, let's see if we can find anything on Trey. Wow. Look at the Raiders. Tyler Linderbaum, Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean, Jalen Naylor, Kwity Paye, Eric Stokes. Malcolm Kuntz is now gone. And they traded for cornerback Teron Johnson. Raiders are giving away Quay Walker. Are giving Quay Walker a 3-year, $40.5 million deal that includes $28 million guaranteed. So they've spent 80, 120, 156, 191, 199, 239, 269, 280. They've spent at least $280 million today. $280 million. That is crazy. 280. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to laugh. Because they're not going to win a Super Bowl spending all that money. But I will say this. And this is the only time I'll ever say it. If they win a Super Bowl before the Lions, then Brad's got to go. Then it's time for total change. And it's not because of what he's done or hasn't done. It's just because at that point, you have to make a change. There's something that's being missed somewhere. We've had a couple bad years of injuries. I could never put that on Brad. It's not for a lack of trying. It's not for a lack of doing his job. All right, I'm going to take a break. It's dinner time for me. I got to get some food in me, and then I'll be back. We'll do a final update of the day. It'll be very quick. Unless something pops, I'll pop on and do a quick live. But y'all have been great hanging out all day. It's typical, right? Lion stuff, you're going to get a little trickle, and then a whole lot of nothing. And then you're going to get a little trickle, and then you might get a flurry. It's day one. I'd say 80% of the big names that aren't signed right now, those deals can take a little bit of time. And some of the older guys that they could be good fits, those deals can take a little bit of time. And it's not because they're expensive and they're hard contracts. It's because they're older vets. So just depending on which direction the lines go in. Oh, what's this? Just got another one. No, it's not another one. People are just regurgitating everything. Oh boy, I just missed something about DJ Reader staying with the Lions. Hold on. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. I was on the Up and Adam show. I just flashed across the screen. Was that new? Doesn't look like it. Looks like it was older. Whatever. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Appreciate you. DetroitFootballJournal.com. Make sure you guys get in there and subscribe. It's free. Just put your email in. Subscribe on the all the way to the right. You just select a free account. Don't put your credit card in. Don't pay for anything unless you want to. By all means, you can if you want to, but I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you to get the free account, support it so that we can build our following and continue rising as one of the top, rising writers on Substack. I would greatly appreciate it. And we're continuing to drop the the top 25. I've already put out my 50, but now it's 2.0. So I'm putting out the top 25, and then we'll do all 50 at once again. And then we'll do one more rendition of really no writing changes, just numbers changes, grading changes, and that's it. But for now, I think we're at a stalemate. And I'll be back when we get some more information. You guys have a great night. I'll see you back here in a little bit. For those of you that I see back, adios.
Pressured by Hutchinson.